See what happens.
All right, we're live right now. So, hey, everybody, welcome back to Just a Guy with a Beer. This is lucky number 13, episode number 13, and we are live in the SNSN studio here in Jewett City, Connecticut. I have some big news to share with you guys, and I'll get to that in a moment. But thanks for tuning in tonight on this Monday after a pretty nice weekend here in New England. I hope everybody stayed safe. They enjoyed some great beers, and you went out and you supported local at your local breweries. So tonight, my guest is Kevin Skulczyck.
Hey, what's going on?
He is the former 45th District Representative for Connecticut and the two-time champion of the town of Griswold.
Yeah.
It's our first selectman. It's Kevin Skulczyck. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks for having me on. It's just a privilege. Been hearing so many positive things about this show. I'm just excited to be here.
I'm glad you decided to come on because we did a couple hours the other morning here on SNSN for Mike's morning show.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of great feedback from that. He's like, oh, wow, you guys should really do a show together.
Yeah.
And here we are. It happened a week later. Here we are.
I had fun. You know, we talked it up about this, that, and everything else, and it's a good time. And, you know, I think there's a lot of exciting things with radio, podcasts, and I think we're actually, you know, we'll be talking about it later. We're bringing some great energy to Jewett City, this station, and as a partnership going forward.
Yeah, I think we should let everybody know that you and I and some of our other friends, and along with Mike Minarski here at SNSN, have joined forces with another company, and we are under the same umbrella now. We are going to create a podcast conglomerate, so to speak.
Taking over the world
We're
of
taking
podcasting.
over the world of podcasting here in small Griswold, Connecticut.
Well, you know, I think if we do, I think eventually if we reach that pinnacle, I want Busch Light. I'm just saying, okay?
Well, I mean, I can't promise we'll have the Busch Latte here on the show as a sponsor, but we'll do our best to get Anheuser-Busch.
If they cut the check, would you take it?
I'll put it this way. We had a little discussion before we came on air about selling out. We talked about Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
I would feel like a sellout if I took a check from InBev.
You know what? First of all, love Joe Rogan, but I'm going to officially, probably in a week, I'm challenging him to an MMA fight because I think he has such an issue with Connecticut. He's tough, and he's probably going to take me, but you know what? I'll get into training again. I'll get in the backwoods, start cutting some trees down.
Let's get him on the show. Let's get Joe Rogan. I challenge if anybody knows Joe Rogan, and I know what kind of connections you guys have out there in Facebook world.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows Joe Rogan, but let's get Joe to Connecticut. I'll take you to Mohegan Sun. I'll buy you.
He won't go there. He hates the place.
No, he's got to go there.
He will probably just if Dana White pays him, he'll go there.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't go there unless any other. I mean, he bags on. It's kind of humorous. I mean, when he's a comedian, he was traveling, hates Connecticut. This isn't about Joe Rogan. It's kind of a funny thing. But you know what this play is? I know right now if I get him in the ring, I think I can get him to tap out.
Think so?
Straight up.
All right.
I'll bring some of that correction.
He's a pretty big dude, man.
Oh, he's big, but you know
but
what?
I know
my way around. I'm going to choke him out, dude.
Yeah, UCOs know all the moves, man.
I don't have the wind to even stay in the ring 5 seconds.
You just got to go for the takedown right away. Okay, but speaking of that, did you see the fight the other night?
I didn't. You know what? I didn't get a chance to do any of that. Actually, I don't really watch a lot of TV and stuff these days. So
well, the MMA, the UFC fights on Saturday night.
Yeah, crazy.
I didn't get to see it because I was otherwise preoccupied. But I did.
They were at Mohegan, right?
They were not at Mohegan.
There was regular boxing at Mohegan this past weekend, I think.
So it was a good fight this weekend, and that's taken over pretty much as my favorite live sporting event.
It's the industry, man. I mean,
I love it. Man.
And you know, did you Scott? Because I know we're about the same age, and we are the same age. Only reason I know is somebody's going for a special test tomorrow. But anyways,
not me.
But back in the day, Tuesday Night Boxing. Do you remember that? Sean
I remember
O'Grady,
that. Yep.
The champ.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like boxing was to me like it was what I wanted to do my whole life. And ironically, I guess we'll be announcing what my radio sort of tag is going to be going forward.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah,
I didn't even think about that, but boxing's always been my dream. I love that sport.
Yeah, and you even had a little tie into that on your Facebook post the other day announcing your show.
Yeah, exactly.
Had a little boxing glove on there. I noticed, so that's cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So that's one of the two big announcements I wanted to make tonight was that we are going. I guess we could say. I mean, I'm already national because I'm all over the internet.
No, you're huge.
I'm
huge.
National. Yeah, I mean,
you're a huge guy.
I have 250 downloads in my podcast.
250 downloads.
Chew on that, Rogan.
Yeah, Rogan. Take that. Actually,
but I'm getting there.
He got $250 million for his contract, so you're not far away, man.
No, I mean, listen, I can only hope that I could even be in the neighborhood of what Joe Rogan has done for the podcast community
That's great.
and is continuing to do
Yeah.
for the podcast community. But listen, if I can do this, and I love doing this. Anybody who watches my show on the reg, you guys know that I love doing this. It's a passion for me. It's a hobby. But if I can make a little bit of money on my hobby, why not?
Yeah,
why wouldn't?
Who wouldn't support you?
Correct. Who
I
wouldn't
mean, I
support me?
honestly tell you, I in the beginning, I would put the show on once in a while, and I'm tired at night, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I will say that it's almost like it's a made for really actually big time show. I'm gonna give you a compliment.
Thank you.
The way you operate the whole thing, I know you're a little bit of a. You got buckets of stuff over here. You're a professional, and like I walk in a room and Mike asks me a question. He's like, and I'm like, I don't know. How do you turn it on? I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, I mean, I try to.
You're good at what you're doing. Is what I'm saying. You're running a really good
appreciate that.
platform here, and I think people are noticing. And I think it's going to take off.
I appreciate that.
Who doesn't love beer?
A lot of work, and a lot of work goes into it behind the scenes. Anybody who tries to do this, Mike can tell you here at the station that he does so much work behind the scenes to make everything go. I'm lucky. I have a very good support system at home with my wife. I have very good friends who support me, and I have a lot of. I reached out to all my friends today to tell them how much I appreciate them, how much I appreciate your support for all this. That you guys believed in me when I first started, and nobody really knew who I was, and it was just kind of a fun thing to do.
Taking off, man.
And my friends supported me not only with like moral support, but they financially backed me, and they got me up to where I'm at now, and I'm taking off, and I'm bringing them all with me too. That's the best part about it
100%.
is I get to bring my friends with me too. So that's awesome. So listen, I'm not talking about having my own TV show yet, but we'll see where this goes.
Scott. I mean,
but anything I can do to help the people that I care about and the people in our area that I care about to make their business grow, then I'm happy to do all of that.
it's a great experience. I appreciate being on the show, and I love what you're doing.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about real quick before we get into the meat of the show today is this morning at 10 o'clock my website went live. So Just a Guy with a Beer just has his own website, and it's pretty awesome now. You can get without going to any of the other platforms. You can go to my website. It's www.justaguywithebeer.com. And you can look at any other episodes that you want. You can find out more about me. You can find out how you want to be on the show.
Are you gonna be selling some swag there?
That's in the works.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean
swag
to
is in the
jump.
works. No. Swag is in the works.
Yeah.
And that will be. I have a little Just a Guy with a Beer shop.
Very cool.
Some hoodies probably.
Yep.
Some ball caps.
Awesome.
And some koozies and maybe some drinkware as well. So
awesome.
I'm working on it, and it's got to get connected with the right people, and we're going to make that happen for sure.
I think you're connected with the right people.
I think so. I think I am. So, but just www.justaguywithebeer.com. That is my new website. Go check it out. And thank you to Laura from Unify, who did such an awesome job building my website. We spent a lot of time together, drinking over beers at Epicure.
She's I've worked on some projects, and
she's great, man.
great.
She's been one of the people that have been behind me.
Just the whole foundry down there. You get to meet all the folks that are down there in Norwich, and Jason Vince and his whole crew he works with, and it's amazing.
Oh yeah, the Epicure, and these guys, that whole little block right there.
Yeah.
That's like my little home away from home now.
That's awesome.
And those are also two.
We need a brewery up here, man. We need to bring a brewery to Jewett City. A Jewett City brew.
If things work out the way that I'm hoping, that may not be far off. So we'll see. So again,
I'll give $20 right now towards the project. So
I'm going to speak about that too, because before we I'm off the rails now again. But before I start, we get into this and we start with our beers. There's a cause that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is veteran suicide. I support it fully. Anything that it helps veterans, that gets them the help that they need, whether there's just some therapy, or it's getting out and riding a horse for the day, or going scuba diving, those kind of things. And those kind of things aren't cheap. Even just therapy is not cheap. And everything costs money. So what I'm going to do for the entire month of November, and I'll give more details when I have them finalized, but I am going to hold a 30-day fundraiser for veteran suicide awareness, so my listeners can contribute.
Awesome.
Whether it's a nickel or whatever, any little bit helps. And I'm still ironing out the details with the
spreading the word helps.
Spreading the word. That's how I got involved in it. Another friend of mine was involved with 22 Kill,
right?
And I got involved with them a little bit. I became an ambassador, and I became an associate with them. So my number is in the national database. So any service member, former vet or veteran that's struggling, that needs just someone to know that they care, can call my phone number and I'll pick up anytime and talk to that person.
Someone that personally has been affected by this conversation in a different, aspect of, we talked about it last week around the show, and, corrections, and I'm not trying to at all tie in what corrections officers do to comparison to military.
It's close to what we do, yeah.
But I know in my own little realm, I've known probably 40 plus people over, almost a 30 years time span that have committed suicide.
It's horrible.
And when you hear that, and so I just applaud. And I know you guys, I saw you were on the cover of one of the local radio or magazines or whatever they call those newspaper,
yeah. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't read them too much, but you were carrying that big, unfortunately the stone with names on it.
Yeah.
And it's a cause we should all support. So I appreciate you doing that.
One is too many. So more to come on that.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And thank you for keep serving, because you're doing that in this way. So.
Yeah, so and listen, like I always say, just one is too many. And if I can help just one person, to stop them from ending their life, because, suicide only ends your problems and it creates more for other for your family and friends.
It's a hole that
but there's an easy, right, there's more than that way out. There's people that care. There's always somebody who cares. When people might think that no one cares, there's always somebody that cares. So
we'll make sure to support that same cause with you in any way we can. And I'm
going to get that out there. So more details to follow on that. And so let's get down to the show here. Now that all the other important stuff is out of the way. Mm-hmm. So tonight, I talked to you earlier in the day. I'm like, listen, what do you want to drink? And you're like, I like the Busch lattes. I'm like, listen, I couldn't bear. I will not beer shame, because that's my thing. I don't beer shame.
I know you got a huge viewership, right? And I know you guys are all loyal. You got the Wu-Tang is forever.
Everybody see that my new sign?
You guys are some bad. You're not quite bad apples. We'll get into that later. But you're some really good, effective drinkers of the beer. I'm a simple guy, man. I came from, I grew up on Peels. What do you want me to say?
Listen, we all did.
Schlitz and
you have
Peels,
to start somewhere, though.
Schaefer.
You have to start somewhere.
Those were the bomb back in the day.
Listen, man, I used to drink Coors Light. That was my go-to, man. I was like Coors Light.
I had one this morning. Even used to. I still do.
I would Miller Lite, Coors Light this morning. I would go sit at home and crack open. I would fill my cooler with Coors Light, and I would sit in my chair and watch the NASCAR race and drink Coors Light all day.
Well,
but then I got introduced to, I wouldn't say better beer, because all beer is good. I've never had a bad beer.
I've got to tell you, honestly, it is better beer. And I talked, we can go any direction you want. I'm honest. I like to just sit back and have a cheap beer. But my daughter just turned 21, and, I was telling you earlier, we went and we had lunch, and I had a Captain's Daughter. Mm-hmm. Delicious.
Captain's Daughter, another good local beer. They're out of Westerly.
That's right.
Yep. Their Captain's Daughter is Gray Sale.
That's right. Yeah. Have you've been out there before, right?
I've been there, but I haven't. I actually like to contact them and talk about them coming on the show.
I love, and I don't mean to pitch it. And I saw.
No, totally. They're a great. Yeah. They're a great spot.
I mean, I love Epicure. Great. You got the Epicure thing, and Jason the blondie. What is it?
Stay Pretty.
Stay Pretty. There it is. I mean, I should remember that, because I know when I look in the mirror, it's like Stay Pretty.
Yeah.
No, but I love all beers, but I'm not a. If you gave me Busch, I'll be a happy boy.
Well, listen, I will not ever beer shame, and that's if you watch the show, one of my things I say at the end of the show is don't beer shame your friends. Because listen, I've never had a bad beer. I've had beers I didn't like as much as others, but I've never had a bad beer. Oh. Right? 'Cause they say you're the best beer you ever had is the one you drank and the one you're about to drink. So that's my philosophy on it. But I just like some others more than
as
a
beer guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is you, beer guy. Have you had a beer get warm and you just didn't drink the bottom? Is there a certain beer you can't finish if it gets warm?
Coors Light.
Okay, because I know the cheaper beers like Busch Light, as soon as it gets warm, I'm throwing a half out if it gets warm.
Yeah, like any of those watered down beers.
Right.
Because it just tastes like beer flavored water when it gets warm. So speaking of that, let's get into what we brought here. So knowing that you're such a big Yankee fan, and to celebrate the end of the season, oh wait, no, you're a Red Sox fan. That's right.
You know I'm a Red Sox fan.
How did they finish this year? How'd they do?
I actually have not turned.
Yeah, they were last.
I don't know. Actually, Scott, I can tell you, I don't know. I haven't turned sports on. I've kind of been staying in the lane of just dealing with what's going on in the world. But I did hear the Red Sox are going to have an amazing draft pick going into next year.
They will definitely have a top 2 draft pick next year.
There you go. We win again. Thank you.
So I went with the Blue Point out of New York. I went with the Pinstripe Pilsner tonight. So this was brought to me by our mutual friend Chris. Chris Knott.
Chris Knott.
He came
Very
to the
cool.
show last week, and he
Very
brought
cool.
me some pinstripe pills. He
Yeah.
promised me he was going to bring me one, and then
Chris,
he ended up
good
bringing
guy.
me a whole 6-pack. So.
Talking about the other partners in this this project.
Do Not Sports.
Do Not Sports.
Those guys are the best, man. Those are guys. I've been on their show. They've been on my show. Those guys are amazing. Do Not Sports. Check them out. They're all over the place too on any of the iTunes or Spotify. Just check them out, please. They are really good, especially on Friday afternoons at 5.
Yeah.
When they do their football stuff.
Yeah.
If you like to gamble
Handicap?
if you like to handicap some football games,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
the show to go to, man.
I'm hearing that actually, and I've heard this from multiple sources, that they're almost like they're doing things that Vegas can't do right now with predicting.
Yeah, they're killing it.
Right.
I love it. 5 o'clock on Friday, man. I'm getting right on the Do Not Sports Facebook page, and I'm checking it out.
I have a feeling that this show, and whatever is going to blow up real
Yes,
fast.
I think
in
so.
This new opportunity. So we have a really delicious beer here. I'm hoping you're going to explain it to me because I don't know what I'm drinking.
So okay, this is the pinstripe pills. Okay, now we can get. The cool thing is you can get 16 ounces of these bad boys at Yankee Stadium when it's not
Okay.
the world's not infected with the deadliest
What are you
disease
paying
ever.
for a beer that size?
Yankee Stadium, I don't know. You're probably not going to drink too many of them if you're going.
You thinking maybe $17 for?
I would say
16 ounce?
that's probably $14.
$14 for one beer.
And listen, I hate it. However, I get it.
Yeah.
Because I've been to Yankee Stadium when beers were cheap.
Yeah.
And Red Sox fans, Yankee fans, any real hardcore fan base,
Yeah.
they're not the fans you want to be around if they've had too many. So they try to keep you limited to what you can drink.
I've been to obviously to Fenway. I've been in the old Yankee Stadium. I've never seen a worse group of fans than Red Sox fans.
Orioles fans are worse, man.
I don't know, man. I've been there, and actually, old Foxborough fans. Yeah. Holy mackerel, right? Before they changed that around. Besides that, urinating in the sinks and beating people up, and it was.
Listen, if your ass is parked on ice cold bleachers for 2.5 hours watching a terrible team play football
and
then
drinking for 4 hours prior to it, you're ready to.
So yeah, I get that, but so that you can get 16-ounce pinstripe pills at Yankee Stadium when it's not, pandemic time.
Yeah, sure.
Hopefully that ends next year. We'll be back to semi-normal, as normal as we can be, I guess. But this is a good beer, man. This is a Pilsner. It's a lighter beer in the style of a Budweiser or a Miller, something like that. So it's crisp. It's very crushable. So I thought, what a great beer to share.
I appreciate you bringing a beer that I
lights.
would enjoy, and maybe being a season, the seasonal beers are coming on, and I'm sure you're going to be dealing with all those. Or
you will not see me drinking a pumpkin beer on the show.
Wait a minute, you look like a kind of pumpkin guy, man.
No. Not happening.
You're not going to drink a pumpkin beer?
I will not say I will not drink.
You don't
nope.
do the brim.
No. I do it for Brenda.
I think I said brim, but I said
no. I do. I'll do it for my wife.
Yeah.
She likes the like dip the rim in caramel.
Oh yeah,
and then cinnamon and sugar.
Right. And why are you so?
I'm not.
Okay.
I will say though, like this has been a season of change for me. Okay, because I've always been anti.
Let it go. Let it out.
I know.
Right now.
I've always been.
Cry if you want.
Yes. Listen, it's a new year, new me thing, right?
Yeah.
I turned 50, so I'm like, hey, why not, man?
Yeah.
I've always been digging on people for putting pineapple on pizza. Well, last week I went to Bert's.
Okay.
And I went to Sorrell's down the street.
Yeah.
And I ordered a pineapple pizza.
And
I still don't like it. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever eaten.
I'd
rather eat pineapples than anchovies.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to make it a habit. I
personally like a pineapple pizza, but it's not a taste that everyone loves.
So my point was that was the first thing. The other day, I always pick on people, and people that know me well, they know that I always bust balls about pumpkin spice, right? Because that's the basic.
I kind of did because you brought it up the other day, so that's why I fed you a softball.
So Saturday morning, Brenda and I were out and about in town, and we stopped to get iced coffee, which is another thing that I've started drinking, which I've always been hard up against. I like iced coffee now. I don't know why it took me 50 years to start liking it.
So Navy guy,
it
you never drank an iced coffee?
No. Because I always thought that cold coffee was disgusting. But this is like next level shit. Mm-hmm. Like it's think about good.
Back in your youth, you could have been the guy that originated iced coffee from a Navy ship. You would have been, sort of big shot now.
Hold on a second, Kevin. I got to say one thing. For all the love I give Ray,
yeah,
I got to go over here and look at the screen.
Yeah,
and he's dogging on my Giants, man. That's not cool, bro.
Ray DuPont.
Yeah.
DuPont?
All the love I give these guys, and he's going to go dogging. Are you kicking a man when he's down?
Ray Bones.
You might as well just Rochambeau me, bro. That's it.
Yeah.
You just kill me. You're killing me, bro.
Ray and I have sat at many Patriots games. We love the Patriots. We're Patriots fans. You know what? I respect the Giants, the Parcells Giants. I've had a hard time over the last few years, just because I didn't like the characters on the team. I guess maybe, but it's not my choice. It's yours.
And the fact that they beat the Patriots when the Patriots had their dream season. But
honestly,
it is. I'm not a hater.
I credit too. It's you get it.
Yeah. I'm not a hater. I actually like the Patriots.
Overall, how many Super Bowls does the Giants have? 4.
No, you have 6. I get it.
Yeah, I just wanted to count again. I didn't know.
Listen,
Did I do all right, Ray? Was that good?
I will not.
Gotcha.
I will not dog on the Patriots.
That's
because I know that's how many World Series rings that Derek Jeter has too.
Oh, now we're going right into that.
I'm just saying.
I love Derek.
Derek
Jeter. By the way, you bring his name up if I can. Just talking with someone about athletes, and I said there's not an athlete that performs today, and including Tom Brady, that is like Derek Jeter. That reason is Derek Jeter stayed in his lane. He loved his Yankees. He did whatever he had to do to finish with the Yankees.
And he never heard a bad thing about the guy.
Never, not once.
They had to make things up about him.
And I think Tom Brady, to me, was that guy for New England. But since he's left for money, to me,
I still root for him. I think he's the greatest player that ever played.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying there's a difference between him and Jeter. Yeah. Jeter is a whole nother level of athlete.
But the common bond, and we talked about
and
this.
I'm a Red Sox fan, so
we talked about this with Chris and Ray when I had them on. The common bond between the guys like Jeter and Brady is a fiery competitiveness. Right? That guy was going to compete with you. He would claw till his fingernails came off, and then some.
Dustin.
Yeah.
Pedroia. You know, he to me,
Petey.
He had a short career, right? In a sense of, he didn't have the Jeter length career, but that guy gave everything he had.
My daughter is a Red Sox fan. Yeah. Olivia is a Red Sox fan.
Smart girl.
And she wanted a Red Sox jersey.
Smartest fryer, I heard.
She wanted a Red Sox jersey.
Yeah.
And the only player I would allow her to buy was Justin Pedroia. And she got one. So
I think
actually I put it on last time they won the World Series. I actually wore it.
I loved watching him play.
It didn't fit. So anyway, where I was going, we're way off course here. I drank. Not only did I drink iced coffee, but I drank a pumpkin spice iced coffee
on the way here.
No, this was Saturday.
Okay,
and I actually liked it. I've tried like all the different flavors of iced coffee except for the berries.
Yeah,
I don't think raspberry and blueberry.
I handed my man card in already, so if you want to just leave it at the door.
It wasn't terrible, but it's my new favorite is the mocha caramel swirl.
That's what I had with my daughter today.
Yeah, it's the bomb. I had it today, man. It's so good.
Cream only, please.
So let's talk about beer now. So I have this Pinstripe Pilsner.
Yep.
It's made by Blue Point. They're out of New York. So enjoy it, my friend. Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Cheers.
I appreciate it, and thank you for putting it in a glass. I wouldn't drink it out of that can.
It's not as cold as I want it.
No, but it's breathing. It's good. It's good. And, it's
like I said, it's crushable.
So what would that beer average 6-pack in a pack store?
That beer, that 6, and Chris, tell me if I'm correct here. That beer would probably $10.
$10.
I'd say it's anywhere between $8 to $10 because it's a craft beer because it's made by Blue Point.
Yeah.
And it has the Yankees logo on it.
Yeah, they just made it 100%.
$2 more expensive.
Yeah, branding alone, you got to pay for that alone. It's it's not a bad after the taste isn't bad. It does make me think of reminds me of Boston for some reason. I don't know why. It doesn't really taste like the Yankees.
It's because it sucks.
No, it's all good. It's good.
It's actually pretty good. It's good, and it was a gift from my friend Chris, and I thought I would share it on the air tonight because you don't watch a lot of TV or follow sports, but DJ LeMahieu for the Yankees won the batting title. He batted .357.
I stay up on stuff enough, but yeah.
And Luke Voigt was the home run king of Major League Baseball. He hit 22 home runs in only 60 games. So congratulations to those guys.
Yeah,
the Yankees are slugging it, but we're streaky, man. Like we keep winning like 10 games, and then we lose like 7 games, and we're too streaky.
My focus now is the draft for baseball. So I'll talk to you after the draft.
Yeah, the Celtics are out now, so I'm done with that.
Yeah,
I don't care who wins.
Is there a sport you don't like?
I'm not fond of tennis.
Tennis?
I'm not fond of tennis.
You never got into tennis?
No.
I think
I can't even enjoy it. Like I'll watch it. I'll try.
Yeah.
And I can't. I just can't.
There was a time I think when I think
it's too quiet.
Yeah, but there was a time where the agony of defeat and everything. You saw these young people, and I think that the Williams sisters actually brought a lot of attention. I think I was drawn to tennis to watch them perform, like I was, quite frankly, with Tiger Woods. With golf, so it was kind of, and I didn't watch golf prior to Tiger, and it's kind of what it is. So it's
Chris says $10 to $11.
All right,
around
perfect.
there. So I was
Chris,
in the
going
wheelhouse.
over to JC Spirits, grab us a 6 and drop it off quick. Leave it on the back door and knock.
Yeah, tennis. I don't know. I can't watch golf on TV now. The Tiger is not around. I have a hard time getting into watching the golf.
Last round.
Like I'll watch the Masters because everybody watches the Masters.
Yeah.
And that's like an American tradition. I'll watch the Masters, but
Is there any sport so I agree with you. Like tennis is hard to watch on TV. Golf is definitely hard to watch.
Yep.
What's the worst possible sport on TV that you can't watch? I mean, maybe it's one of those two. I don't know.
but we'll throw that out of the window.
Yeah.
We'll throw golf and tennis out the window.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I have to pick one sport to never watch on TV again,
Gymnastics.
that's not really. Well, I don't want to say they're because they're great athletes.
Don't you listen, for the record, in case I ever run for election again, I didn't say gymnastics was not a sport. This dude did.
No, it's not. They're great athletes.
Oh,
It's
they
like
are a
My
sport.
son always teases my daughter about cheering's not a sport, and I said to him,
They're athletic, man.
"Those girls are more athletic than you'll ever be."
Right.
Right. And there's some boys out there too.
You get into college, collegiate,
Yeah.
pros, you're athletes.
I go.
all day.
Well, Kevin, I go to these cheer competitions. My daughter competes in,
Been there, done that.
and I mean, it's amazing. Like I have anxiety walking in there. You walk right through the door, right? And you see the stage, and next thing you know, there's a 16-year-old girl flying 25 feet in the air, and that's crazy.
Oh, it's not.
And thank God my daughter's not a flyer. She's a base.
Yeah.
But she's the one that's responsible for catching them. But I still get even if it's not my kid, I still
I've
get
been
a
there,
little
man.
paranoid. So.
Taylor did it. And,
I don't know, man.
It's crazy. And she was just talking about. We were just talking because Taylor babysat Bo's kids, and
Yeah.
I guess their daughter obviously is really good
Yeah,
at that.
Sophie's there, yeah.
Yeah, she's jumping around and
I know
doing
it.
all that stuff. And
It's my daughter was very excited to have her there.
yeah.
And it's nice to see Liz and Bo when I go to competitions
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
So
yeah.
and hopefully they'll be out actually be able to go
Yeah.
to competitions this year, and I'll be able to go watch them because I always involved with lacrosse some way.
That is such a part of this whole world. Whatever. It just stinks that these kids have to go through this
Oh yeah,
experience, man.
I hate it. I hate it for them. I hate it for us because I love to watch my kids
But we
compete.
figured a way out how to make it work. We're sitting here having a beer. We're making it work. We get with our friends. These guys don't even have school like they're supposed to have.
Right.
They don't have interaction anymore.
it.
And they're already in a digital world that they need that, right?
know it.
It's like crazy.
Like
So-
we could talk about this for hours.
Yeah.
About how the football's been canceled. Fortunately, Dylan plays soccer for Griswold High School. He's the goalie for Griswold
And
High School.
lacrosse, right?
He's a lacrosse player. Yep.
Yeah.
And I got to watch him play all summer, which has been great. Which was great. And he's got tournaments coming up at the end of next month.
And that's soccer or lacrosse?
That's lacrosse.
Okay.
But soccer is going on. His first game is Thursday. Griswold's first game is Thursday. So I'm getting to watch them compete on that kind of level anyway. But I feel bad for the kids that don't, because some kids, I have friends that their kids only do football, and that it's been ripped out from underneath
100%.
them, and what's left, it's terrible.
It's memories you're never going to get back, and
Facts.
it's unfortunate, and
Yep.
it's just a crazy time. So, but yeah, man, this is good. So, thanks, Chris, again for dropping this off, and
Yeah, dude.
not bad.
It's actually pretty decent. I did bring something else to share with you. We'll do that in a little bit. So,
Miller High Life.
yeah. That's not Miller High. I brought you a little bit something to educate your palate just a
All
little
right,
bit.
thank-
But before
I
we
love
get
the pompous slide there.
Yeah.
Educate your palate, and that's cool, man.
So before we get into the next topic, just going to take care of some stuff for you real quick.
Yep.
For GNS Auto Sales, if you're in the market for a used vehicle at a great price, head on down to GNS Auto Sales in Franklin, Connecticut, and take a look at their great selection. BMW, Audi, Dodge, Chevy, or Ford, and so much more. And whether it's an oil change, brake repair, or the check engine light, let Pat Wendy and their team of professionals take care of all your automotive needs. That's GNS Auto Sales, located on Route 32 in Franklin. Give them a call at 860-383-0050 or find them on the web at www.gnsautosales.com. Unify is a local service, full marketing and branding agency that helps your business strategize, develop, and implement a marketing plan using the best platforms and materials to connect you with the right customers quickly. Find them on Facebook at Unify CT or on Instagram at Unify_CT, or call Laura directly at 860-326-6003. You got a taste for exquisitely crafted beer and pub grub with a foodie flair? These Guys Brewing Company on Franklin Street in Norwich, Connecticut has got what you're craving. Enjoy a variety of classic and unique craft beers brewed on site, and indulge in a delicious meal with seasonal dishes from their scratch kitchen. And check them out on Facebook or online at theseguysbrewing.com to stay up to date with their freshest brews, current menu, and upcoming events. These Guys Brewing Company, where it's all about good times, great food, and fantastic craft beer. So I also, before I get to, I have a couple more to do. I would like to welcome on to Just a Guy with a Beer team to Mr. Beardo, a good friend of mine, Dana. He lives up in Mass. He's an awesome dude. He's got like the coolest beard ever. Like it's like literally down past his waist.
Nice.
It's super long, like it's easy top,
Yeah,
but it's cooler than ZZ Top. You want to know why? Because he's a huge Giants fan. He's from Gloucester. Okay. How do you say it from your mask? Gloucester. They're from Gloucester.
Yeah.
Right. So he's out there and he goes to Giant games.
Cool.
Not a Patriots fan. Yeah. He's an everything else Boston fan.
Yeah.
But he's a hardcore Giants fan. And he goes to the game. And
how old is he? Do you mind?
He's around my age. He's around our age.
Okay, interesting.
And he paints his beard with red, white, and blue.
Nice.
He's been featured on Bud Light commercials from Giants.
Kidding.
The Giants have done features on him. The Boston Bruins. He did a Boston Bruins beard, and the Boston Bruins actually did a promo with him too.
That's awesome.
So he's a great dude, and I'm very happy to have him on board. His company, he's starting to boost his company up. It's Mr. Beardo. Beard oils and tattoo juice are the highest quality, no BS oils on the market. All hand and homemade to meet the specific needs of everyone's beards and ink. I personally use these products, and I can tell you that they are 100% legit. Get your beard pumping and your tattoo popping. Find them on the web at www.mrbeardo.com. And I did bring, if you want to hand me that in front of that, I did bring some beard oil here that I bought from Dana. It's the unicorn scent, and let me tell you, my beard smells like cotton candy when I use this stuff.
Yeah.
Not only does it softens your beard and it promotes growth and it helps your skin underneath, but it smells awesome too.
Do you think maybe Mr. Beardo would like to do a podcast and come into the family? We're welcoming him in.
I would love to have.
Well, there you go.
I'd love to have Beardo.
I think
on
I just
the
took away
podcast.
one of your sponsors, but at least we can.
No, listen, he can still do it, man. I'm happy to have him on board.
Yeah, it's
anything
cool,
I can do. He does tattoo oil too.
Very cool.
It makes your tattoo like you put it on. It helps condition your skin.
Well, if Mr. Beardo needs any CBD oil, I kind of know where we can get some.
I think you might do that. So welcome on board to Dana and Mr. Beardo. I'm glad to have you guys on board, man. I'm helping you grow your product, and you're helping me with mine. And then my last sponsor here is Epicure Brewing. It's a Connecticut-based craft brewery seeking to enable great experiences featuring your beer, friends, and a lot of laughter. Bring your own friends or make new ones at Epicure Brewing. It's located at 40 Franklin Street in historic downtown Norwich. Find them on the web at www.epicurebrewing.com and hashtag Epicure for life.
Nice.
Those guys do a great job. All my sponsors do a fantastic job.
You do a great read, man. You do a great read.
Thank you. Thank you for
what
believing
are you doing
in me.
between 10 and 10 and 12 during the day, Monday through Friday?
Working. So let's talk about you for a minute. All right, you've been
boring.
You're the first person from Griswold that I ever met.
Yeah, that's true. Story,
and if you didn't, most people probably didn't see us on the show.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a quick story, then I'll let you take over and talk about some of the stuff that you're doing here. So when we lived in Waterford, we lived in Quaker Hill, and we were selling our house back in 2013, and we were looking for a house in Griswold. Mm-hmm. So our house, we sold it before. We actually sold our house before we bought a house. Mm-hmm. And we have, just like everyone who sold a house, you have to get a home inspection. So the home inspector comes to the house, and I'm walking around with him, and he goes down to the basement, and he's putting the radon detector down, and he says to me, "So you guys find a house yet?" I was like, "Oh yeah, we had one in Griswold that we found, and we're looking to buy that house." And he's like, "Oh, I'm from Griswold. Where's the house at?" I said, "Oh, it's in a place you probably never heard of. It's out of the way. It's called Lily Pond Estates." And he says, "Oh, you're buying the house over on Laura Jane Lane." I'm like, yeah. And he's like, "Cool, man. I'm your neighbor." I'm like, okay. He's like, "I'm also running for first selectman, so can I count on your vote?" And my response was, depends on how this home inspection goes. So, and here we are. And that person is none only than Kevin Skulczyck, who's sitting here with me tonight. Right? So you're the first person I ever met from Griswold. It's kind of cool.
When you think about it.
It is.
That's how many years ago now, Scott?
Over 7 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
That was in like April or May of 2013.
I was 43.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, me too. I was not even 43 yet.
Yeah.
So we've been here over 7 years.
Only to be 43 again.
I know, right? Seems like 43 you feel old, but then when you're 50 you're just like, Jesus.
Well, big shout out to your good friend Pat. He just celebrated his 40th.
He did. Yes, my close friend Pat from GNS Auto Sales. He just turned 40. Yeah.
You know, I always thought he was 50.
Damn. I'm not answering that one.
Sorry, Pat. Love you, bro. No, it's all good. You know, it was interesting, and then you know you get involved, and you come to town, and and I was kind of doing my thing in the political side and still involved with a little bit of sports, but you came right in and, you're representing your family and you're a volunteer. And one thing I'll say is, I love this community is about, and I think many communities across our country are about, it's about volunteering and community. And you've stepped up right from the day you moved here, right? I mean, you started getting involved in
right away. Yep.
Everything.
I did. Well, it was really in Norwich. My son started playing lacrosse, and they needed lacrosse coaches, so I stepped in and filled
my
in.
daughter was going to Norwich because we didn't have lacrosse teams.
Yeah.
Then, and you were running that program down there.
Yep.
For those guys.
So
Pretty
and then
amazing.
I did that, and then anything else that pops up, man, I'm always trying to help. Man, I love this town.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many great people in this town. And I will say that from the time, and I used to drive through here when I lived out of the city. I drive through Jewett City, and I was so judgy. Yeah, I'd be like, pfft. Right when I drove through this town, like, don't stop, don't make eye contact with anybody, right? Because Jewett City had a reputation.
It did, but it's.
But between guys like you, I moved here. You turned the town around. Guys like you, guys like Ryan Aubin.
Yeah. Ryan does an amazing job.
There is no place else out in this state, no place that I would rather live than right here in Griswold. If I'm going to have to stay here, this is where I want to be because.
Hey, I loved it. I love it. I've had a bittersweet relationship with Griswold and its people. I mean, when you get into politics, you sort of get into a position where you're it's a 51-49% rule.
Yeah.
And 51% are going to love you one day, and 49 are going to hate you, and that number can flip pretty easily.
Yeah.
And that little 2% of people, can I tell you what it does to some, your emotions and how you feel and everything. So it's been an interesting time.
So. Now, as I said at the start of the show, you were our first selectman for 2 terms.
Yeah.
But starting the year.
I won by 1 vote my first term.
2013, right?
1 vote, yeah.
Yeah, that was the year I moved here.
Yeah.
And we voted for you.
Yeah, thank you.
And you did some great things for the town. And then you came back again, and you did some more great things for the town. The town is better off. It's better than when you started. You left it better than when you took it.
Well, that should be your goal if you're in a
Oh,
job
anything.
or whatever, right?
Right,
And
exactly.
especially if people give you confidence to represent them and sort of take the lead. Now, I enjoyed every moment. Revitalizing downtown was always a mission. We're still struggling to do that. There's an apathetic sort of feeling, I think, of people, as you say, not just people that drive through the town. Some of us are, I always argue with some of the great people in this community. Sometimes I don't argue, but I'm like, love your town, man. You have a great downtown.
Right.
Come downtown. I put a business downtown. I tried to commit to it. I'm still going to, I'm running another business on the other end down South Main Street, trying to revitalize a nice old factory down there at the Wire Wine. The point is, we have all lots of great ideas. But sometimes a difference of opinion gets in the way. And if I learned anything, it's not to be offended by a different opinion.
Correct.
I think that would be benefit for me now if I was to be in those positions again.
And that's the other thing too. Like my dad gives me great advice. He says, "Don't be afraid to get your feelings hurt because it's going to happen.
100%.
You can't let other people's opinions because more people are going to, like you said, the 51-49 rule, right?
Yeah.
Most people will love what I do. There's always going to be somebody that's going to be a hater.
And the other rule I live by in politics and work for me, Scott, is 6 out of 10, right? So I used to tell everybody all the time, especially on the campaign trails, and I ran a few campaigns and successfully for myself as well. And, I actually have never lost a campaign that I've been affiliated with.
Right.
And that's
awesome.
Some say I cherry pick, and maybe I do to an extent, but I try to pick things that I know that I can give positive energy to, but I thought to the town.
What I'll say to that is, wouldn't you do the same thing in that position? Like, wouldn't you want to make it as easy as possible for yourself?
Yeah,
Well,
I will tell you the hard work in the beginning, it was hard. But, when I ran for state representative, I mean, it was like a cakewalk because I won by 60-something% of the vote. It was whatever. But the point is people believed and had some confidence.
Yeah.
But,
I saw what you did here in town.
Things change.
Yeah,
six out of
quickly.
10.
So we'll get to that here. So you did open up. You said you opened up a business here in town.
Yeah.
It was Pub 45.
Yeah. I was the 45th house rep.
Yeah, you were the 45th.
And we have a 45th president.
Coincidence?
People ask me all the time.
So, but now Pub 45 was an awesome place to go. That's where I first met Ray.
Yep. He was working bar.
He's working the bar, and I like to go there.
Yep.
And we also had a thing in town. We had Jewett City Bike Night.
Yeah.
Now, we only had it 2 years?
No, I think we had 3.
We had 3, and we had 3.
Yep.
And they were always great.
Yeah,
and it got better every year.
Every year got better.
It got because you learn from the things. Okay, 100%. We could do this better. We could do that better.
100%.
We had, but having the band out here was a street party. listen, if you're having a bike night, you're going to attract
Yeah.
undesirables, and it happens. But the state police were here.
Yeah.
They kept the peace.
100%.
And the guys that were here, as much as people look at them and be like, they were respectful
Right.
of our town.
Right.
So that was cool.
Yep.
But there were some people that didn't like it.
Right. Oh yeah, there's a lot of pushback. That among the gun range, whatever.
Oh,
We'll go
yeah.
down a couple list of things that I dealt with, but the bike night I thought was so there's three things when I started to look at politics and trying to run for the position of first selectman. I was like, how do you revitalize, right? So I looked at three things: commonalities. Putnam, Westerly, they both have downtowns.
Mm-hmm.
They both have downtowns included with restaurants and walking places. They have parks and they have playhouses. Those are the three. And the fourth actual thing that I found out about, which ties Mike Minarski and SN Radio in, is they have local radio.
Yeah.
And I thought when I brought my platform that those are the priorities, and I couldn't. I didn't hit 100%, but we were sitting at a radio station that was started here. We're seeing more restaurants and little places growing on downtown. I think that's a huge plus. And I think that you see that park being used, as you saw when you came to town,
Right.
fireworks, events. And
Spooktopia, Youthtopia,
Right.
whatever Topia. It's been awesome.
Ryan Aubin's done
God,
just
it's been
amazing.
great.
Yeah,
For the
and
kids
so-
in this town,
so-
listen, I challenge anybody to tell me any town in Connecticut or any other state for that matter that has a better youth program than Griswold does, because I will tell you you're lying.
Ryan and I love Ryan Aubin. There's no secret there. If I could do anything, I'd encourage him to run. I'll run his campaign for him because he's an amazing guy. And we're talking about a guy local, the listeners, who runs the recreation department for our community. He's grown up here. He loves here. He loves this whole environment.
Yeah.
He's about it. And you know what he told me early on? He's like, we don't charge our children here in this community to do anything. And I really didn't actually, I got to pay for my kid to play Jewish City Little. I'm like thinking that kind of guy. And what he said to me, some of these kids, this is their trip to Disney.
Yeah, man.
And you know what?
That's what kind of guy Ryan is, though.
But I was so bought into that concept, and this is the event where they go and everything they get to do is free for the kids. And we have other events with music and stuff like that for adults, but it's just a great community. I agree with you. I love the community. I love even if I'm not loved back completely, I love it anyway.
And then Terry did chime in and said that it was 3. So,
Yep.
And speaking of, the reason we had the Jewett City bike night in the first place was for Terry's son. He lost his son TJ, unfortunately, tragically. What is 4 years now, right? No,
it was a couple years before that. So,
so
we would have been.
It was
3
the year that I
years
moved
running.
here. Yep.
It's longer than that, and I apologize. I probably should know, but it's
2013.
I know
think
I
it
got a
was.
chance to meet TJ personally, and he was even interviewing for a job in the town, and unfortunately, the politics that the towns have like this. But the bottom line is, I love the Sumners. They're my friends, and I feel Terry's like an older brother to me.
Yeah, and I've just recently
Brian's
got
great
to know
guy.
him a little bit, and I think the world of him.
Carolyn
He was a
just
state trooper.
passed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guy's
And-
been through so much.
And you look at our video of actually today's the anniversary, right?
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
yesterday.
yeah, so, yeah, let's
yesterday
talk about
was
it.
the anniversary.
So, we had a bike night, and it was on September 28th.
27th. I think.
Was it the 27th?
Maybe,
or
yeah,
28th?
maybe it was
Anyway, it
28th.
was 3 years ago today. 2 years.
think
3
so,
years
yeah.
ago today. And it was the best bike night because we had a lot of people.
Man.
We had a lot of fun, and I was in Pub 45, and Terry brought his bike, his son's TJ's bike,
Yeah.
into the bar
At my request.
at your request.
That's right.
And
In my bar, inside an old bar that it looks like if you go in Pub 45 and now Broad City, it's a great little place. It's like an old-fashioned bar you see on any main street, wood floors. I'd asked him to do it, Scott.
So Terry brought TJ's
I actually
bike in.
demanded it because I knew what Carolyn's eyes would look like when she saw this experience.
And then if you watch the video, you can actually see.
Right.
You posted it on your memory today,
Yeah.
and actually, Terry did as well.
Yeah.
And you could see Carolyn's face, how happy
Right.
she was seeing that, and when Terry started the bike up and started ripping,
Yeah.
her face just
22
lit up,
seconds.
man. It was awesome.
It was 22 seconds.
Yes. And it
burning
caused
out.
such a flurry
Yeah,
of
man.
controversy in our town.
we
It was
got-
like it was like Burnout Gate, man. It was
possible
crazy.
indictments
It was
and
crazy.
taking this one down and that one down. And, I obviously, listen, the normal average individual is going to say this is sophomoric and it's stupid. And I can't argue that maturity should always be the prevailing factor. But I'll say this to you. I'd do it again. And because I have love in my heart for people, and I feel like love should be, it should be expressed. And quite frankly, those people who don't ride motorcycles, I understand why you feel this way. If you don't understand, but this is a common thing. If you go out to the Midwest to really celebrate someone's life that might have passed, this is what they do.
Yeah, man.
And so we kind of follow that pattern. And I'm not like the ultimate biker. I get
Right.
that
It's not
thing,
like
but
we're having Hell's Angels and firebombing each other's cars in the town.
It was
to do it to honor a friend's memory.
100%.
And that's
do it again.
To me. I think the people that complained about it, that was the childish and sophomoric. Now Terry came through again and said it was actually 2 years ago yesterday. So he's on the ball. As
Thank
usual.
you, Terry. You are. If we need a producer, I think Terry's the guy and a personality too.
I'd like to have Terry come in here because that dude, he's done and seen a lot, man.
Yeah, he's a brilliant guy.
Yeah.
And again, I just love their family, and it's been tragic to watch Carolyn suffer, and to have her watch her son pass away, and for her to suffer physically, health wise. Has been a struggle, but again, I do it all over, and it is what it is.
It was cool, man. I was in the building. I was glad I walked in maybe 5 minutes because I was down at Cranky's, another local watering hole here, and I walked down because I saw all the other bikes out there.
Yeah.
And Cranky's was too crowded, so I said I'm going to go check out what Kevin's doing.
And we were crowded.
And there I walk in.
Yeah.
And because in fact, I saw Heather was there.
Yeah.
And I walked in to say hello to her. And
I think Heather left before the actual burnout.
But then 2 minutes before, and then boom, there it goes. I didn't know it was coming, but I saw Terry pull in to the bar with the bike, and I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then the noise started, and then the whole place filled with smoke, and it was. Then everybody outside started ripping burnouts.
Yeah, it was a scene out of like Sons of Anarchy, downtown Jewett City style.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was. I mean, for the big kid and all of us, we love it. And listen, no one got hurt. A couple of us got indicted.
It was loud. That was it. That was the only problem. Was loud.
Smoking loud. You know what I mean?
So what?
But it's funny because you look at the controversy. Being a public official, opening a local bar. I was very politically. It was known as like a politics sort of bar, and that in itself isn't smart, right? I mean, I did everything you're not supposed to do. And any given day you can go by the window in the morning and see me sleeping on the floor, passed out. All the good things, Scott. I did everything positive. I'm joking about that.
Listen, I liked going there. I enjoyed going. I never thought of it as that.
No, it's the vision some people have of that, and it wasn't. We had beautiful high end liquor. I mean, as far as the Browns, I'm a whiskey bourbon guy.
Me too.
We had Pappy's Van Winkle.
Yeah.
In Jewett City.
Right.
Pappy's Van Winkle in Jewett City. And credit some of the partners we had, and just to help us with that, we had. I mean, and I know over there now in Brute City, they're doing the same thing. They're doing a classy
we like
act.
it over there too.
It's a beautiful place, and two great owners, and you know what? I actually love the fact that I had something to do with like almost building a landmark. I don't need to own it. I just need to know that I had some positive energy there, and it's what it's about.
And listen, you're always going to have naysayers, no matter what you do. Like we have some pretty great establishments in this. We have two great breakfast spots.
Yeah.
We have two great places to go and have a drink. You can go to Cranky's and get wings, or you can go over here to Brewett City and have a nice drink. And I'm not sure what they have on the menu there.
They do amazing food with just some of the breads and stuff.
No meatballs still, man.
Yeah, we had the big meatballs.
I love the meatballs, man. 45 was awesome.
I know. Well, you never know. They might come back someday. You
Maybe.
never know. I've always aspired to get back into it smartly. Timing. Timing's everything in business.
Yep.
And so you know what? It was a good time to step aside and get into some other ventures.
That's good, man. Listen, I know that
I'm not bitter.
No, of course not.
Not as bitter as this beer, Chris, but I'm not bitter.
No, we're gonna crack that other one here in a minute. But so let's talk about something. We were talking about politics.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a big day in the history of the United States, right?
Well, it's going to be probably I think more on the media side of things. It will be the most viewed show ever, I'm sure, in the history.
More than
of
the Super Bowl, yeah.
Oh, it would be viewed more than. I mean, the entire world will watch it. The
anticipation, totally.
The anticipation of what's Biden going to do and what's Trump going to do. I mean, Trump's going to be an attacker, right? We know he's going to come out relentless,
bully,
and Biden's going to be as slick as he knows. And there was a book I read, and I forgive me for the title, but I believe it was called the I can't remember, but anyway, it was about a boxer and punch drunk.
Okay.
And I kind of equate someone like Joe Biden after 40 years in office. He's a punch drunk politician. He's going to respond to everything that Donald Trump throws his way. He's going to be able to bob and weave, and he'll say the right things. He's going to lose a little bit of.
But can he though? Can he?
It's going to be a test, Scott. I mean, honestly, I think we're all going to be interested in seeing how this plays out.
I'm very interested to see because every time now. I try not to go put too much credence into what I see on Facebook or any kind of media that because everything's biased.
Fake news.
Yes, there's not. You can't turn on a channel on TV to watch news to get information and not it be biased towards one or the other. Mostly it's against President Trump, and because there's people that don't like him, understandably. Okay, I'm not one of those people, but there are people that dislike President Trump greatly. I know few of them well.
We have lots of personal friends and people we
and that's
love.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It's politics, man. It's not life or death.
Yeah. Some people take it that way, though.
Yes, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like I will never unfriend somebody or not be someone's friend because of their political beliefs.
Yeah.
I mean,
you see me do posting all the time,
of
right?
course.
And you know that
I see there people attack you.
And the one thing I'm good at doing, and maybe it was my training from the prison system, is I can be told off and yelled at and screamed at,
and then still smile.
And I respond back with appreciation of someone's perspective. And some people think I'm like a smug, sarcastic guy, and maybe in some ways it could be a little of that, but at the end of the day, I do respect everybody.
Absolutely. I respect everybody's opinion because you know what?
That's what makes this country great.
For 24, the 24 best years of my life, I gave to this country.
Thank you.
So the people that were in this country could have an opinion and not feel like, not be attacked.
Right.
Because that's the whole reason this country was founded in the first place, because people were being persecuted because of their beliefs in another country. So they came over here because they had enough of that. And they started. That's why we wrote the Declaration of Independence. That's why we wrote the Constitution.
And you know those documents, those living, breathing documents that have life to it every day, they were imperfect as they are perfect. And you know they gave us the American people, the opportunity to make or break these laws and these rules that we establish. And you know, you look at what's going on with the Supreme Court, and you kind of think about, well, you know, there's a lot of going on of energy, and some people really don't realize the consequence of this position on the Supreme Court. And you know, it's sad that you know the passing of former, or now I think she's been laid to rest. That now this opportunity would be bestowed upon any president.
Correct.
In this situation, in this time, Barack Obama or any other president would do exactly what Donald Trump's doing.
Correct.
And so that
it's
should
his
be
job.
That should be a done deal.
She said herself, Ruth Bader Ginsburg said herself, the president doesn't stop being the president just because he's in the last few months of his term.
You think if we got attacked that he should say, hey, guys, hold on a minute.
Chill.
Yeah, we're going to have an election. As soon as we figure it out, we're going to start getting back to that. So just take 10, would you?
Again, it's sophomoric. It's politics, man. I liken politicians to insolent children. All of them.
I agree with you, man.
All of those people in Washington, from the president himself, because he's the most childish one out of them.
Listen, he is a guy, and I share this story, and I might have shared it on. You know, I was really working for Marco Rubio during the 16 election, and I really thought Marco Rubio. I met him personally a few times, got to talk to him, and he just was a guy that spoke to me.
Right.
And I wanted to support him, and so I went up to New Hampshire and to the primary, and I got a chance to see Donald Trump. Literally, I could have touched him. That's how far away. He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's a big man,
and he's orange. And he's got hair and his hair looks there. You know, his hair is.
Yeah, he's a character, man.
But his tie is from the top of his chin to literally, it would be dragging on the ground for me. I mean, he's a unique guy. But you know what? I've always been a fan of Donald Trump, the business mind, because he's a marketing guy.
Yeah.
And he marketed himself into a position where, imagine this, he's the only president of the United States that can sit back and say, I didn't spend 25% of what my opponent did on marketing, and I still beat him.
Yeah, and
he used the media brilliantly.
He used a business strategy to win the presidency.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was
brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant.
He's
because
brilliant.
nobody, zero, even me who voted for him, zero. I did not think he had a shot.
Right. Brilliant. Actually brilliant. Yeah. And by the way, this is the fact. They did call me Baby Trump for a reason. I'm being honest. He's in the newspaper, Hartford Courant, whatever. When I tweeted one day on Mother's Day about wanting I'd like to euthanize them, but basically castrate sex offenders.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was reading an article out of Alabama that day, and I said, you know what? I agree with this. I'm going to pitch it as a law up the State House. Oh, they beat me up on the AP. It was just
well, not in this state, man. You know you're going to meet resistance to anything.
Yeah, but I mean, who can argue with a sex offender? I mean, you know.
Give me
the scissors, right? Just it's done.
I have lots to say about that, but listen, this is not the time or place. But tomorrow is a very important day. It'll be interesting nonetheless to see how it goes. I kind of have a feel about how I think it might go, but you never know, man. Things are crazy in this world right now, and you never know. 2020 has been crazy.
So it's kind of a funny thing. It's almost like equating to, I don't know, maybe your first date, or before you go on your date, you kind of meet you're in high school, you see the girl at lunch or whatever, and tomorrow is going to be exactly what we need to see, whether or not we're going to feel confident about that next level. There's some people that are on the fence about not just Donald Trump, also about Joe Biden. I think there's a lot of people actually more questioning, do I trust Joe Biden or do I go with what I know? And by the way, this is what I want to say on this political thing with Trump. He's not the perfect human.
He's not.
But at this time in history, he's the perfect president. And I will say this to you because I believe you need someone who's strong enough to bring us back together. And actually, people don't realize what Donald Trump has done for the nation. He inspired AOC. He inspired a collection of people who never would have ran for office.
Yeah.
If he was not
indirectly.
Yeah. So you know what? You got to look at the positive from any way you can.
Totally.
And that's kind of my perspective. I'm sorry, we're supposed to be talking about beer.
No, that's okay. So we're gonna shift gears here, and I brought this other beer for now. We talked a little bit about educating your palate some.
Yeah.
This is a double India Pale Ale and double IPA.
Yeah.
This is Galaxy Wandering into the Fog, made with Galaxy hops, made by Abomination Brewing, and they are with the 12% Beer Project out of East Haven, Connecticut.
Okay.
So this is one of those up and coming beers, one of those up and coming breweries.
Creepy looking. I gotta tell you,
it's very cool.
Yeah. This is really cool.
They have different varieties of this beer, but this is the one I could get my hands on. So this is a Galaxy.
It's a pale.
It's a double India Pale Ale. So the alcohol content's a little bit higher.
Okay.
And it's a little hoppier than what you're probably used to, but it's very hazy.
We have Uber rides, guys. Don't worry.
So this is Into the Fog from Abomination Brewing. This is the Galaxy.
You let your beer breathe? Is that what you do?
A little bit. I let it breathe for a minute, or a couple minutes before I drink it.
That's a smart thing to do. Why do I feel like this has a little bit of orange peel or something in it?
No, it's just hazy. This is the way that they brew it, the process. So, okay. So on my page the other day, I posted on Friday. It was National One Hit. It seems like every single day is National this day. Or
I know.
And,
by the way, my daughter.
Today
National Sons.
No, that was yesterday.
Oh, whatever.
Today is National Drink Beer Day. That is a fact. It is a fact.
I'm here on National.
You are here on National Drink Beer Day. So if anybody wants to fact check me, Zuckerberg, go ahead and fact check that.
I thought you said fat check. I'm like, man, I know I gained some weight, but Jesus.
Oh no, trust me, I have enough for everybody. If you want to fact check that,
so this is National
Drink Beer Day.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do it. So we are going to do that. Let it breathe for a minute.
Yeah.
But the other day I did bring up it was National One Hit Wonder Day.
Yeah.
And I put on my site, tell me some one hit wonders, and man, I think that might have been my most commented on post.
Rico Suave.
So, yes.
Was he not one of the top?
Yes, it was. So, my daughter's cheer coach, Coach Megan, she said that was her pick.
I didn't see it. I'm telling you, I know it because I lived that era.
It was Rico Suave. Yeah. And listen, you could be a million. There's millions of them.
Have you ever seen Weird Al's version of it?
I have not.
Pull it up tonight.
I want to check that out.
You will laugh. Oh my God! I know there's some people laughing right now listening. Oh my God! Weird Al, Rico Suave.
Yeah, the one. In fact, the other night, Brenda and I sat out by the fire and we had a drink and listening to some music. And iTunes actually has a one-hit wonder station.
Yeah.
And it was funny because song after song came on.
Yeah.
And I would look up the post that I had, and I would find someone who said that song. Mm-hmm. So we had some really great. It was pretty cool. It was almost like a kind of like ride down memory lane for us.
I love that stuff.
Because it was like the '80s was like the decade of.
Do you listen to Yacht Rock?
I love that channel.
I got introduced recently to my buddy Phil, and he's like Yacht Rock in it, and I'm like, what? What's Yacht Rock? Next thing you know, I'm just like, I just want to drive in the truck with you, Phil, and drink beer while you drive, and I listen
to this great. Yeah, I mean, you're listening. You look up on the wall here in the SNSN studios.
Yeah.
They have the hot ones, and you look at it like every single person on this.
Yeah.
Yvonne Elliman, Player, the Atlanta Rhythm section.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Dave Mason. You think of all these songs.
Yeah, man.
You hear every single one of those songs on Yacht Rock.
Yeah,
so the
crazy.
One Hit Wonders thing was actually pretty cool. It was fun. But I do a segment every week called The Great Debate.
Okay.
This is week number 3. The first week we had the greatest quarterback of all times.
All right.
Last week we did Pineapple on Pizza, and this week was the greatest movie of all times. And this was a very, very spirited debate.
Wow.
On my page.
And you're going to announce the winner?
There's no clear winner.
So you're going to announce
all
some
my
of the
opinion.
results.
Now, there is my opinion, and then everybody else's wrong opinion.
Yeah.
Right? Because Top Gun is the greatest movie ever made, and anybody who says no needs to move to another country.
It's kind of funny how the feminine side comes out once in a while.
Top Gun.
Yeah, no, it's the feminine side of you coming out right now.
No.
It's a love story, Scott.
With guns.
You're telling me better than Rambo.
Rambo.
But no,
listen,
that's not. You're not. Sorry. You're saying right now, officially, your man card is on the challenge. It's on the table. You're telling me that's better than Rambo.
well, no, wait. So let's
wait. What are we waiting on? You just said it.
Is it Rambo or is it First Blood?
Okay, I'm gonna go with First Blood.
Okay, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
But half of the movie is unintelligible. You can't even understand what he's saying.
Who cares? Who cares, man? He's killing things and destroying things, man.
No.
Tom Cruise.
Listen, I like it. Tom
You and
Cruise.
Iceman. Okay, so I see it now and I understand. You used to wear that uniform and I get it and I appreciate everything you've done.
I joined the Navy because of Top Gun.
You used to play volleyball in the sand.
I still do.
And you would dive
But
and
I'm
get sandy
Iceman.
and sweaty.
I'm always Iceman.
And you had
I'm
a
Team Iceman.
Do you have a partner that you used to look at and kind of?
That would be Pat now.
Right.
Pat's my Merlin.
Listen, I think it's a great movie too, but it's more of a love movie.
It's
man.
not. Bro love. It's not
a
a
bro
love movie. It's bro love.
All right, yeah.
Come on, man. God did it for Goose.
I got it, man. Listen. I respect your opinion. I just don't agree. I just not my movie.
Well, and I listen. It was to me is my second favorite movie is not even close to that. My second favorite movie is Caddyshack.
A great movie.
Yes.
But I'm
But it's not
gonna
close
check
enough.
in my man card now.
Okay.
You want to know? Here's a swear to God fact so there's a couple movies I love. Fried Green Tomatoes is one of my favorite movies made. You don't even know it. Fried Green Tomatoes.
Yeah.
It was a great movie to me. I don't know why.
Okay.
It wasn't my man card movie. It was my just, that was kind of like a good movie.
My man card movie, and we're gonna have a show about this one night.
Yep.
I'm gonna bring my wife Brenda on,
Cheers.
and we're gonna talk about chick flicks.
There you go.
My favorite chick flick, my man card movie, since you brought it up, is You Got Mail.
Oh wow.
I love You Got Mail because I love
Mail.
Tom Hanks and Dave Chappelle's in it, dude.
Yeah, man. That was the beginning.
Any movie with Dave Chappelle in it is awesome.
I love Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, and Meg Ryan before she got hideous.
Did you see Dave Chappelle's take on the whole situation in this country? As far as
I have not yet.
It's worth watching.
Yeah.
He did it in his backyard and he kind of went up on his little stage that he has there. And I'm a big fan of Dave Chappelle. Actually I don't know how controversial this is because being a person criticizing sex offenders, I'm a huge fan of Tyson. I'm a huge fan of Tyson. And I think that my personal opinion is he got kind of roped into something back in the day. He wasn't intellectually sort of at the point in his life where he is now to understand what people were doing and manipulate him.
Yeah.
I personally think he wanted to check into prison during that time, and I'm talking about the crime that he was
When
convicted of.
He got committed. He got indicted for rape, and he was convicted, and he did his time.
Right. And I really honestly don't. Honestly, it turns my gut to think that I could think that way, but I just believe he's been a victim of so many people in his life.
And I believe that.
But I love Mike Tyson, man,
including Don King.
Yes, I mean, but I love Mike Tyson. I love these stories of people who can bounce back from these adversities.
He did his time.
Right.
He did his time. He committed the crime, and he did his time.
Oh, I don't know
he
if he committed the crime, but
well,
I mean, I know what you mean by that.
But he went out. He did his debt to society.
100%.
And he came back a better person for it.
I've never heard that guy lie in one interview. I mean, what do I know? But I just
he's very candid. He wears his emotions on his sleeve.
I try to. Honestly, I'm not saying I aspire to like him, but I mean, it's somebody that I can tell you. I try to do the same thing now, and you probably noticed when you met me 5 years ago. I'm open, man. You ask me a question, it's an answer.
Totally.
So, but it's good. I appreciate the fact that you can open up about your girl movies. That's awesome.
Listen, I'm not opposed to chick flicks. I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
You Got Mail is a great movie, and you know what else I like?
Sleepless in Seattle.
Well, we'll discuss this more when I have Brenda on with chick flick. Yeah. I'm not a Sleepless in Seattle guy, even though it's Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
I really like that movie, Message in a Bottle.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I almost I had to fight back the tears when Paul Newman died. Man,
yeah. Paul Newman, great guy, Connecticut
Paul Newman
guy.
was one of my favorite.
You know what?
favorite
I just
actors
talking
of all
about him.
time.
He was an amazing guy because stayed married his whole. He was a loyal dude. He didn't let Hollywood ruin him.
Yep.
He cared about people. He was so interesting. As just the way he was like the most interesting man.
Yeah.
And so.
What's your favorite Paul Newman movie?
I'd have to say the prison movie. I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart. I apologize. The prison movie when he's eating all the eggs.
Yeah. Oh, now you're killing me.
Yeah,
one of my viewers
What movie are we talking about? That is my favorite. I'm having
my guy says he can eat a dozen eggs. My guy can eat a dozen eggs.
Yeah, sorry.
Right? It was the sheriff, the prison guard.
And he did a great movie with Tom Hanks. Tom Cruise. And when he did the remake of The Color of Money.
That's a good one. My favorite Tom Cruise movie is HUD, when he's a ranch hand. That's a great movie.
All right.
I love that movie.
All right. Who's your favorite female actress?
Are
you saving this for you?
Cool Hand Luke.
Cool Hand.
Paula.
Who got that?
Paula Manso.
Oh yeah.
Cool Hand
Paula,
Luke.
Shout out.
Quick, awesome. Paula. Thanks, Paula. Cool Hand Luke's a great movie. Yeah. Why is there dirt in my hole? And then he filled it in.
Yeah.
Why is all this dirt out of that hole? And he had to fill it back in. Yes, dude, that's a great movie.
That was a great movie.
That was the corrections officer.
Yeah, that was exactly.
Yeah,
That's gave me the dream, man. Yeah. So what's your favorite? Can you mention who your favorite?
Yeah, Selma Hayek. Easy.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
She's a fantastic actress.
Really?
Dude, hell yeah.
I think she's been good. I mean, she's got more attraction to her physical.
No, her acting. I don't see any.
So she won some Emmys. And
all
yeah,
that? I think. I don't know. Probably. She should have. If not,
I don't know. I'm Betty White, man. I can't go wrong with that answer.
I like Betty White.
Betty White is rock. I mean, honestly, one of my other favorite kind of more modern. Here it goes, my chick flick is the one with Betty White was in, and she was playing the grandmother. What was that? The Proposal. The Proposal. You remember that movie? It was a great movie. Ryan Reynolds.
Yes, Sandra Bullock.
Yes,
that's a great movie. Yes,
I mean, it's chick flick, but I like it.
I like that movie. It's kind of funny.
I could watch
when she does the Dougie Fresh.
Yes, when she's doing a dance around the fire.
That's good stuff right there. That's a good movie. Paula comes through again. Selma Hayek in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah,
that was my first movie where I fell in love with Selma Hayek, as an actress, of course. She's she should have won an Oscar for from the snake scene alone. She should have won an Oscar for that.
Yeah, I do remember that. It was a good movie, definitely.
It's another Tarantino movie, which is
I have
every movie he makes.
I have a hard time with him now.
Really? What?
Yeah, man.
Political. See, here's.
No, I don't even call it political. I'm a law enforcement guy, man. I back the blue.
So do I. 1,000%.
I know you do, and I'm just saying. I try not to be offended by people who want to be political, even when they're entertainers. Like The Rock came out and said, "I'm supporting."
That one stung.
But you know, I love the man, The Rock. I love his entertainment. I'm not gonna.
Like
I'm not judging him, whatever.
No,
but his advice to me on this, I'm not taking. Right.
Right.
But when it comes to, Tarantino came out and just bashed police. This is a few years back after Ferguson, and quite honestly, I just can't get with it. I'm sorry. I'll bend on some things. I'm not bending on that.
No, I get it.
I
totally get it.
So, you can love me, you can hate me, but I'm not bending on it.
Everybody has the right to their own opinions.
Yeah.
Listen, because some of my favorite artists, Wu-Tang.
Yeah, man.
Wu-Tang, Bruce Springsteen is the most.
KRS-One was one of my favorite.
Oh God, yes.
And you want to get into some lyrics about killing police? I mean, whatever, right? I mean, it is what it is, and I love all that. I mean, listen, I'll tell you, I'm probably the only human alive that was in the State House that was playing Eminem live, and it got picked up by the mic, and the entire room was hearing it during a debate. That's a true story.
That's awesome.
And Melissa Zabron knows that because she was also a state rep with me. But I still, you know what? I'm entertained by them, but doesn't mean I have to agree with their politics,
totally.
And I respect theirs. Just like I said, The Rock.
Springsteen is one of my favorite people in the whole
41
planet.
shots. It turned me upside down, man.
Yeah, I get it.
But I also understood why. There was something to be said to that issue that took place.
Yep.
And you know what? I think he shed some light on it. I didn't agree with the way he did it, but it is what it is. I've seen him 3 times.
That's the kind of thing that. That's the kind of the thing that is part of the thing that's dividing the country right now. You know, because people look at it from a strictly a black and white thing, and it's a touchy subject. And Ray and Chris and I talked about it, and it's just, to me, I just don't understand how somebody else could treat another human being differently based on the color of their skin. That does not
listen
resonate with me. I don't get it.
And I'm not asking anyone to follow me, but I've been on this trip with this guy named Kevin Booker for many years actually now, and Kevin's an activist, a black man from New London, city councilor, a well-educated guy, actually related.
I've seen him on your Facebook
related
page.
to Cory Booker, who's the famed senator out of New Jersey.
Yeah.
And
not proud of that guy.
I don't agree with his politics, but I'd love to meet him and sit down with him. Scott, it comes down to when you're thinking about this political discussion of race, there's racial issues in our country.
Yes.
We have ignored some responsibility. We've allowed government to continue to perpetuate this difference between us and them, in a sense.
And the media.
And economically, right? Media, economically, and housing, right? Housing's a way. I looked at, and a guy who changed my life is Dr. Ralston, The Making of Ferguson. And I say, well, changed my life, changed my opinion of, I was the strong right wing. Everyone works hard. You get what you want, and I can go on the reasons why I feel that way personally.
Totally.
But my point was that when I would hear excuses from young black men that couldn't get a job or get out of a situation, I would, well, you can fight harder. Well, my own nephew, Taiwan Jenkins, who now is a coach, coaching football in the state, went and played at Southern Connecticut University, got a scholarship there. Big boy, 300-pound, his dad being black, his mom being white. And I would hear Ty tell me all the time, hey, I get pulled over, Uncle Kevin, and they treat me this way and they do this to me. And I would just be like, no, Ty, you're the one acting wrong. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. When this whole situation went down this year, I'm just throwing it out there, I was driving down to Florida, Orlando, to do a delivery for work. And this whole thing came on, and I was going back and forth, and I just started crying about my nephew. I didn't realize what he was telling me all these years.
That same thing.
And I just ignored it, Scott.
And I had this same conversation with Chris and Ray.
Yeah.
About, I have friends that are African-American friends or black guys, and I've been listening to them more about what their things that they go through, and it opens my eyes because, I'm a white guy, and I didn't come from a lot of money. I had to work hard for everything I did, and like you, I said, hey, you just got to work harder, man. Yep. So I know that there are black men that I know that are very successful and that came from nothing, but it's a thing, man. It's a thing. They have different struggles than we do,
right?
And unfortunately, it's because of their color of their skin, and I hate that. As an American, I hate that.
What I can say to this is I hate more than that is that we allowed the media and some kind of political movement to attack law enforcement as the problem maker here. They didn't create the problem. If you look at across this country, almost every municipality, being local or state, that's run by sort of this liberal, and I'm sorry to get into this situation here, but you kind of entice me. If you're in a situation and you're being told year after year, you need to vote for me, we're going to change things. What have they changed? In the city of Chicago, how many kids die a weekend?
It's terrible.
So we need to be real about the conversation, say, yes, there's a problem.
Yep. We
need to address the issue. If you look at The Making of Ferguson, like I referred to, read the book, you're going to realize that housing in this country was the first, I think, more financially separating of class, of racial class. What I mean by that is if you look at what they took as an example, and I'm sorry, I can't quote the towns and all that, little town in Chicago that actually developed as a suburb, on their covenants it said no Negroes allowed.
That's terrible.
But this is the world we live in.
I don't understand how, again, that's me,
but
just how
Scott,
I was raised.
The federal government signed off on the loans.
It's ridiculous.
At the time. This is what I'm saying, right?
To me, it's beyond belief that it's 2020 and we still have these issues.
Right. I think your listeners are like, you know what? Get back to beer.
No, but listen, some of our listeners do appreciate it because a lot of my friends and people that do listen to it, they're involved in the social issues too because people, they want it. The fact that we're even having this conversation right now says a lot, right?
Yeah,
because a year ago,
we
wouldn't have had this conversation.
What I want to say to that is this: I believe that we have issues to deal with. I don't want to pick on the police because they're not the problem. The politicians have been the problem.
Yep.
The lying politicians across the country have been the problem. And the fact of the matter is you can't forgive bad behavior with an excuse.
Correct.
And we've been doing that. That's the habit.
Yep.
Media does it. Everyone does it. And we watched, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, we watched someone who was somewhat of a criminal who should have never been killed this past year. And by the way, when he was killed by that one moment of his and partially other doing, meaning the police officers involved, as well as his doing, as we know with the autopsy. And I'm not blaming. Listen, I want that guy to be dead, right? Nope. Not at all. But we made him this hero in this country, and it's just the wrong hero, man. When we have people like you, or other people who are willing to step up every day, like an 18-year-old right now that says, "I'm going to go to the military. I'm going to go overseas, and I'm going to fight for my country." And when that kid comes back in the middle of the night, when his body's in a coffin, we're not putting him in a gold casket. Yeah, there's a problem, in my opinion.
Again,
sorry,
a lot of that way too deep. It's okay. No, listen. there is an issue in this country.
You can't let me drink and talk. That's what happens.
We're having the fact that we have a conversation about these things. It's important it's important to our country right now, especially with everything going on.
I'd agree.
And the best thing you can do is just be a good person, man. Like my parents taught me to be a good person. The whole I don't see color. But people say that, but I think when people say that and it gets taken out of context, maybe color, it's just a person saying, "Look, the color of your skin doesn't matter to me. I don't care." I mean, I think I've looked at it differently since this whole thing started. So it's been a good thing because I've always been like, I don't care what color, because I've been in the military, man.
I've admitted my own doing. I've had racism in my life. I felt racist in my life, right? You cannot get past this issue if you can't throw it on the table and just be like, I felt it. I've also felt, and this is the wrong term people use, because I felt racism at me. It's not reverse racism, by the way. There's no such thing as reverse racism. There's racism general, right?
Correct.
So I got into a correctional facility at 21 years old. I'm working in the prison. Yeah, I felt like somebody who was blamed for other people's actions, right? And I had that every day as a young person. I had to deal with that. When I was able to have my own children and sort of, feel the strength of who I am positively as a person and a grown-up, a man, I started to realize, I understand why this young guy has been coming back to jail, because his dad's been coming back to jail and his mom's a single mom trying to struggle, and there's a situation here.
Yeah.
And this, I think is led up to this point where
he feels like he has no other options.
Right.
And it's
that's
terrible.
not an excuse, but it's a reality,
and
we need to excuse.
I hate the fact that we have Americans that have to deal with that.
Yeah, man.
Like, I bought a T-shirt from this company that I believe in.
Yep.
And it's very profound what it says. And when I saw the T-shirt, like, the last thing I need, if you ask my wife, is another goddamn T-shirt. But I saw this T-shirt and I said, oh, you know what? That T-shirt speaks to me, and I want to wear it proudly, and I want other people to look at that shirt and have it, and it says, "Live a life worth their sacrifice."
Yeah, there it is.
And that's it, man. That's all it is.
But Scott, this is a really passionate conversation, and I think I would say to listeners, people that are going to listen to this down the road, don't be afraid of admitting who you are.
Yep.
Don't be afraid of opening up to a discussion, and don't ever walk away from someone who disagrees with you.
Correct.
And I got to tell you, I put something up recently, and I posted this thing, and I get a lot of great feedback, and it really helps me with content as I'm building stuff. And I said, what did you tell your children when they went to bed? I don't know if you saw that. And I know the words I said to my kids, and I said them organically and naturally. And if you heard me speak at a opening day of any sporting event, I said it. I said, always respect yourself and others. Always try to help people. And always try to share your toys. Now, those simple things. But I want to step further. As each one of them started doing sports, I used to grab all the kids together. And Jim Collins can tell you this is a true story. Jim Collins, our state trooper that works in the town, and former state trooper here in Connecticut, great guy. I used to have the kids get together, and at the end of every practice, Scott, you know what I told them? Go become tax-paying citizens.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to pay your taxes. But you know what? That's it, man. It's just, and I used to have parents, why are you telling my kid to pay taxes? Well, because
what Americans do.
Honestly, I come from a place right now where I was working in the prison where they're not paying taxes.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm not trying to get into that. I'm saying, but let's teach that next generation.
Listen, I've always said to my kids and other people, racism you're not born racist. You're taught.
100%.
It starts at home, man. Teaching your kids to be good people, it starts at your house. Being good. I was fortunate to have great parents that taught me the right thing to do. Always do the right thing,
So do you know my mother is so my father is Ukrainian. My name, right, is Ukrainian. Mm-hmm. And my mother is Irish and Syrian. And so we thought we were Sicilian up to a few years ago. I was like a David Chappelle show, It's like, oh, goddamn Syrians, and then all of a sudden I find out I'm Syrian, and it's like, wait, I hate the Middle East. No. I'm saying tongue in cheek. Totally. Tongue in cheek, right?
Yep.
And so it was kind of funny to realize, I come from this, this is my ancestry. This is who I'm, and believe me, when you see my great-great-grandfather, and if you look at me in the summer, you probably go, it makes sense. You see my son Jake. Jacob has an ethnic look to him that you kind of go, oh, it makes sense now. Yeah. So
now that you mention it.
Right. No, really, it's kind of a funny thing when you kind of get into that. We're all just such a melting pot.
It is.
And we just all have to realize, you know what? We get one chance to do it. And if we want to spend our time fighting each other, man, that's taking a positive energy away from things we could do positive.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Because while we're here fighting each other, we have other countries that we're enemies with that are looking at us and they're wringing their finger. They're wringing their hands. They love this.
Oh, they're waiting to strike, man.
Remember, it was like, I don't know if you remember this. I think it was like
movie.
2011. No, it was.
Okay,
it happened.
sorry.
It was in Egypt and Saudi Arabia. They had the spring where they revolted against their dictators in their countries.
Yeah, 100%.
And I forget what the name of it, they called it.
Yeah.
But then I was sitting there watching it. Going,
You're talking about
go ahead.
Benghazi.
No.
Yeah, that was.
Oh no, we're not even going to touch that one.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting in and watching TV and watching all these countries that were having riots and almost, I would say, you can't say protest, because protest to me is people with signs that are voicing their opinion. They're peaceful. These are riots. What's going on here? But I was watching these countries riot in Egypt and Libya and Saudi Arabia, and they wanted change in their country because of the way that things were going. And I sat there watching, go, good for them. But at the same time, I was kind of hoping that they would overthrow their government and become a better country.
Yeah.
But now I turn around and I look at what's going on here, and I'm like, wow, this is the same thing that's going on here. But then we're not. I'm all about somebody voicing their opinion and being able to voice their opinion, and you have the right to protest. That's why I don't have a problem with NFL players or baseball players or anybody that's taking a knee. Listen, I might not agree with it, but I completely respect your right to do it.
Do whatever you want. If I want to turn the TV off,
but when you
I'll
start
turn the TV
destroying other people's property, I don't care if you're mad.
Yeah.
That doesn't give you the right to destroy another person's property. In your own city.
I agree with you.
In your own city.
I agree with you. And unfortunately, though, we've had an encouragement of a political motivation.
And that's...
And a whole other media issue that takes place. But you know what? Here's what the summary is, in my opinion. Scott, you talked about 2011, and I will say, I would challenge that even deeper. If you look back and when Rupert Murdoch actually bought Fox, invented Fox News, the English entrepreneur that he was, he brought that whole entertainment of news and media. We got the newscasters, the women that had their shirts unbuttoned.
Oh, yeah.
They started to be more, sort of sexually and clad. And they also...
Which backfired on him, by the way.
It did and it didn't, but it built an empire, right?
Correct.
Of a news media that was told it would never fail. You'd be out of business like the USFL in 1 year. And the other thing we also saw...
Thanks, Donald Trump, for that, by the way. That's the only time I'll ever say that in a bad way.
New Jersey Generals, thanks.
Yeah, I was a huge fan.
Yep.
Like, we had Herschel Walker and Doug Flutie, man.
Yeah, man. We not only had
he
that...
He ruined the USFL.
He did, and it was a great shot for a challenge to the NFL. But I'm trying to say is we used to watch the European influence back then on TV when I was turning my cable dial, turning around, and then, kids today don't understand. We used to have to turn things. We used to see this stuff, soccer games, major brawls and fights, things being blown up in the streets. And dude, right now in our country, we're living it.
Yep.
We're living this time. I mean, when two elderly people drive through the streets and they get dragged out of the car and killed, this is not the America we want, man.
It's not the America that I served. This is not the people that, like I said, wear that shirt, live a life worth their sacrifice. The people that died, so you have the right to voice your opinion.
That's right.
Live your life so you honor their sacrifice.
Right.
Don't be a piece of crap. Go out there and voice your opinion. Be strong, but do it the right way, man. Don't destroy other people's property.
I agree.
Just be a good person, man. And it seems like it's not a hard thing for the people that do it every day. But I mean, some people struggle. And I come from the military where you're forced to live in, with that. It's a diverse group of people. You have Asians, you have Hispanics, you have African Americans, you have white people.
Right.
You have people from all over the place, man.
Right.
So many different. In the Navy, there's a lot of Filipinos in the Navy.
Right.
And you're forced to live with all these people. And now I grew up in a military town in New Jersey, so I was around these people all the time. It didn't bother me any because I was used to it. But there's some people that come from Podunk town in the middle of Alabama. They may not have ever seen an Asian person.
I went to basic training to Fort Benning, Georgia, in the late 80s and 89, I think it was, or 90. Yep. And It was my really first introduction from a small town. Now, luckily, I got into the buddy system, which recruiters sometimes lie to you about. Not trying to bag on recruiters, but it never works out. I'm not going to say lie. Just
if you're not lying, you're not a good recruiter, man.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
But we had my friend of mine, Glenn, and I actually lived at Glenn's house for a few years, and we got on the buddy system. We went down there. We not only went through our first 2 weeks of process, and then we got put in the same platoon together. And, we had this great experience, and we experienced these things that we were from the North. And I met people from Alabama and all over the world. And by the way, Glenn just happens to be a black guy, and him and I came from the North.
Right.
And black guys in the North and black guys in the South, there's a difference.
There is.
There's a difference, right?
I meet them all in the military.
I mean, the names that I heard him called by people of his same race.
Yeah.
Because of his, where he was from, was pretty incredible, man.
It's unfortunately, we're not exposed to it every day.
Yeah.
And there are people that are.
Yeah.
So we were like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there are people that see it on a regular basis, and that's unfortunate.
We need to start a campaign. It's not a political campaign. It's a human campaign. We just need to hug more, man.
Well, not right now because you have to maintain social distancing.
Yeah,
bro.
You know what? Screw that too. I have a whole other story about that. We just need to do a little more hugging, a little less fighting, and just realize I'm okay with you being different, and just
you know what? It's not even just the color of your skin, man.
Yeah. No,
it's your religion. It's your religion. It's your sexual orientation.
Whatever.
I don't give a shit.
Right.
Listen, man. If you are a good person, then I want to be your friend.
Can I tell you a quick story about sexual orientation?
Of course.
I'm not going to admit anything, so don't get excited. But so one day, I have when I was serving the state house, I had a outreach guy and a media person that gets assigned to each person. So we're coming down, and he tells me, Jason says, "Hey, we're going down to Griswold. We're going to go speak to a class, civics class down there." And so I said, "All right, that's cool. That's my town, man. My daughter's in school there. Let's go." So I come in, and as I'm walking in, a few of the teachers whisper in my ear, "This is not really civics. This is the LGB." I'm sorry, I get bad with that. You know what I'm talking about.
It's a lot of letters.
The groups, and I'm not being disparaging. I
get
don't
it.
care. And I went into this room of about 40 different students, and not everyone was, actively living out the role of that kind of community, but they supported it. And it was just as Donald Trump was being elected. And my press guy was like, "You're not going in this. They're gonna videotape. You're gonna do this. I said, no. We're gonna go in. If I can't sit and talk to this group of people, then you need to just take me out of the position I'm in and just shoot me out in the pasture, because it's just done deal, right?" So I go in, and of course, a couple people in that room, young people, jump right on me. "You're going to take my rights away. You're not going to do this." And I'm a justice of peace. I'm known for Jewett City weddings. I'll explain that later if you ever want to hear. They're usually less than 2 minutes in total, and we usually have shots at Crankies afterwards. It's a Jewett City wedding. So I go, and I'm trying to say to this young group of really nervous, scared, what are they going to do to me? Government's going to hurt me, this kind of thing. And I'm like, look, I don't care if you pee standing up in a dress or if you pee sitting down in pants. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you get married together I don't care any about that. You know what I care about? You're a good person or not.
Yep.
And that's all I asked for. And so I think I left that room, and I know my press guy was like, "Wow, you pulled that one." Buddy, that's me.
That's just you, man.
It's just me. I didn't pull anything out. That's just who I am. So,
and that's basically what it comes down to, man. It's like I tell my kids, just be good people, man. Just be someone that make our family proud, make mom and dad proud.
Mm-hmm.
Just
you're getting a lot of writing there. What do you got? Somebody asking questions?
I don't know. No, some of my friends are talking about the Giants, so we're not going to talk about the Giants.
Listen, guys, the Giants they were great back in Parcells' day. Sorry,
it is what it is, man. I'm tired of losing.
You did beat the Patriots a couple times, whatever.
That's long gone, man.
So let me ask you something, if you don't mind. So where do you see the show going?
Listen, I have no limits to what I want to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want to get as many listeners as possible. I want people to come on and every week and enjoy my show. So the next day at work, they're like, "Hey, did you watch Scott's show last night?" "Yeah, man, it was good. They talked about this. They talked about that." I just if someone goes out and they buy Pinstripe Pilsner tomorrow because they saw it on my show, that's a win for me, man. If someone goes out tomorrow and they find this dense fog and they drink that, that's a win for me. If somebody goes out tomorrow and they go to these guys or they go to Epicure because they heard me talk about it on my show, that's a win for me. That's what I want.
Right.
I want my show to be successful because I'm not successful unless the people that support me are successful.
Well, I will tell you that I've been on a lot of talk shows and I've been in a lot of things and everything. You're real natural at what you're doing. And, I think you have a really good platform here. And I think it's going to grow bigger than you can imagine, honestly. So I just
Well, let's hope you're right, man. That would be great.
no, I think you just stay focused, stay in your lane, man. You got a good thing going on, and
I appreciate that.
coming. I don't know where we are time wise.
I don't care.
I felt inspired to say those words, so I just did it.
No, listen, I don't have a time limit on my show. We start at a time, but we never have, because we can go, literally, we can talk for hours.
Well, we could have some more beer delivered.
I know,
here
right?
tonight, 'cause I don't know if we're
But
running out.
it's been a great show. We had some great conversation.
Yeah, man.
If you watch tonight, I hope that you enjoy the show. Like I said, big things coming up soon. Please support your local breweries. Please support my sponsors. I thank to these guys, to Epicure, to Unify, to G&S Auto Sales, and to Mr. Beardo. You guys, I love you. I thank you for supporting me. And everybody watching, I thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Thanks, Kevin, for a great show. It was awesome. I'd love to have you on again, brother.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And if
Till
you're
the next
watching
time.
tonight, please take care of each other, man. Be good to each other. Be a good human. And like I said, be someone worth their sacrifice. And as always, wear your masks because you have to, not because you want to. And don't beer shame your friends. Until next week, you guys take care and be safe, party responsibly, and we'll talk to you soon.